Hi, my name is Deborah Henney. I'm a wife, author, mother, speaker. Today I want to release a prophetic word dated in my journal as July 9th, and it is called Bursting Forth. There is a bursting and a gushing that is coming forth. It is in the spirit, but there will be a sign in the natural. I am releasing greater revelation to my people. I'm going to open their minds to understand my heart and specifically my word in new ways. There will be deeper meaning that have long been hidden that I am ready to bring forth in this time. My word is living water that flows and moves. I have said that every stroke of my law will be fulfilled. This is yet to come, but before this can occur, my people need to gain deeper wisdom and understanding regarding the things that have been written. The time is coming soon for eyes to see my word with great light, so even the smallest strokes can come to pass. There will be a magnification and an enlightening as I open minds to the things that I have, as of yet, kept hidden. This will usher in a time that has been eagerly awaited. A time of great understanding will also be a time of great outpouring. It was with wisdom and understanding that I set the foundations and spread the heavens. It will be through wisdom and understanding that my great house will be built and enlarged, so I can place within it the life and beauty I have so longed for. This bursting of deep revelation is not to build fancy arguments, but to build within my house a sturdy frame and to enlarge capacity for my glory. The outpouring of my supernatural, miraculous workings, powered by my love, is the key to the life and beauty that will draw hearts to my house. Allow me to open your eyes, ears, and minds. Allow me to unfold wisdom and understanding. Allow me to cause a bursting of living water from the depths of my spirit through yours that will gush and spill over. So this is another very encouraging word of promise of things that God is doing and things that God is bringing. He says, and the sense with this was that there was like a rising, bubbling. I remember the images of bubbling and a bubbling up that was almost like, I don't want to say pressure in a bad way, but pressure in a way that something's about to break forth was the sense and the feeling that I got with this word. And again, it's a deep bubbling up from the deep. And here he's talking about his heart, his wisdom, his understanding. Again, those are his depths, his spirit depths that are being released in us into the deepest parts of who we are. He's talking about releasing wisdom and understanding, not for the purpose of developing fancy arguments. I think sometimes we get stuck in thinking that we can create all these fancy ways of phrasing things and writing things and saying things that will just convince people that of our position and of our belief. But God said that that's not the purpose of the release of this wisdom and understanding. Rather, the purpose is for enlarging our capacity to bear his glory and to release greater amounts and measures of life and beauty in our lives. And now this is not physical beauty and external beauty, but this is a beauty that radiates from his spirit within us, that he is longing to bring forth and to release in his people in this time. Because when you really operate in God's ways, there's no denying. I mean, I did an interview with Pastor Robert Bass, awesome pastor, speaker, author, and minister of the Lord. And he talked about, the senses being involved in when we live for God and how people will see God in us. They can feel God in us. There's a tangible feeling to the presence of God that you get. There's a smell on our lives that we can carry when we are carrying a great measure of the presence of God. And God likens it to fruit, that sweet smelling fragrance, that aroma off of our lives from his presence in our lives. So again, those senses, and I know there is a tangible sense of the presence of God. I know when God called us to change churches a few years ago, just a repositioning for greater growth in our lives, and to align with a different ministry. And that's, God does that sometimes. He moves people into different positions at different seasons and different times. But I remember when we walked in to that church for the first time, I was hit with the tangible presence of God. And I just about broke down crying. I was like, there's just such a rest and a releasing in us that comes when we are in the presence of God. So again, all of our senses being heightened to the presence of God, that in a way that other people can actually sense the presence of God in us. And that's the purpose of this release that God is bringing. So that this release in wisdom, this release in understanding, he talks specifically about his word, his written word, that there's mysteries in his written word that he is releasing in this time. Mysteries that the people who have gone before us have sought after and have laid foundations for, but that people and teachers, prophets, pastors in this era, apostles in this era, are going to be able to build on that foundation and bring a greater release of the revelation of God in his written word. And that's going to prompt a huge outpouring in ministries and in lives. He's talking about building a sturdy frame for his house to enlarge the capacity for his glory. And again, that goes through wisdom and understanding. It's through wisdom and understanding that God created and designed this whole universe. And it is through wisdom and understanding, our wisdom, him unfolding his wisdom and understanding in us, that will build what he is building in the church and in our individual lives in this time. So he talks about, I'm just going through the word here again, living water. His word is living water. It is life, it is movement, it is flow, it is growth, and necessary for life. I think sometimes many times people, or I've been there in my life too in the past, where you kind of just read the Bible just to read the Bible. And you're kind of like, oh, yeah, I have to do that yet. Or not today because I'm too tired. But when we see his word literally as life to us and life in us, that's when we can really flow with it, and God can really burst forth life from his word into our lives. So just an encouragement there to see the Bible literally as life in you. Great outpouring, wisdom, house, supernatural workings. Oh, he talks about things that have been written, but have the release of that understanding has not occurred yet. I know, I guess it was a little over a year ago, I had an incredible vision experience, and part of that, at the very end, he showed me an envelope, and this envelope had this beautiful white and gold, I don't even know what you would call the pattern. It was almost like a just flecked envelope. It was all white and gold, and it was sealed, and it was stamped with a red wax seal. And I said, God, what's in there? And he said, it's not time for that envelope to be opened yet. It will be opened, but that revelation and the time for that release is not yet. So it was, again, a visual representation of this promise of something that is currently hidden, but that God desires to reveal. But there's a building process that we have to go through first. We build it through seeking out revelation and wisdom in his word, seeking his presence, seeking his word, both written and rhema, so the Spirit, as he speaks in our hearts, seeking that as we seek life, as if our lives depended on it, because really, they do. So, blessings, and till next time.